This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Hello and welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's Fred Staab taking you through the automotive industry. Les has stepped away, he has some important business to handle, so I'll be taking you through this show, and we've got a lot for you. Has Dodge got a deal for you? Well, it appears they have, especially if you're going to order a brand new Charger. But you better get your order in. And they're giving away a lot of stuff. We'll go through it. I think people will be pretty interested to see what they get. And this is, of course, the all-new electric Dodge Charger. And, well, they're giving away horsepower and trips to racing schools and a whole lot more. So we'll tell you about that. Then what happens to the Toyota Prime series? Well, it's going away, sort of. We're talking about the Toyota RAV4 Prime and the Prius Prime. They'll still be around, but they'll be called something different. So we'll kind of clear up that mystery and tell you what's going on there. And then Ford improves its Blue Cruise. Yes, it's sort of hands-free system, and they've done some improvements to it. Are they surpassing what Tesla can do? Well, we'll kick that around and talk about that. And also, over at Volkswagen, they say they're done with cheap plastic interiors. We'll tell you what they mean by that. Of course, if you've ever been in a vehicle and you realize somebody scrimped on the budget for interiors, well, it doesn't make you feel too great because that's what you look at in the vehicle every time you go down the road. So Volkswagen's upgrading their interiors. We'll tell you how they're doing it. Actually, I found they were upgraded on my at-the-wheel review vehicle, which is this ID4 Pro. And great vehicle. We're going to have a full at-the-wheel review of it. All electric, of course, and we'll be taking you through it. And interior was much improved on this vehicle. Maybe Volkswagen is already on their game. But we'll tell you about this. Great update to this vehicle. It was a big update for 2024, so we're going to take you through all those upgrades and my driving impressions. So you want to stay tuned to Cruise Control for that. Great vehicle. We love bringing you at-the-wheel reviews where we do a real review of the vehicle. We are going through it. We are driving it. We're not just talking about it. We're actually driving the vehicle and giving you our impressions, whether it be something simple like, hey, we don't like the knobs in the vehicle, or, hey, the acceleration was great, but, there's something else we didn't like about it. We tell you it straight. So time for me to say we will be right back with more Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out on our social media platforms. I'm Fred Staab. Stay tuned, because we're just getting started on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. It's Fred Staab. We appreciate you listening. And if you are checking us out on social media platforms, you can always like and subscribe. We appreciate that as well. What do you think? Dodge is making its big transition to electric performance. You know, they are making their electric Charger sound like a gas-powered Charger, or at least attempting to. And all the last call Dodge Chargers with Hemi power are built already. So if you want performance, it is now time to look at the electric Charger. And they have opened up the order banks for this. It's Dodge Horsepower Locator. You're going to have the Dodge horsepower locator tool on the dodgegarage.com site, which is basically their configuration tool. But there's a lot of deals if you're looking to get a 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona. And they call it the first call experience. It's not necessarily a model. It is a first call experience. But they're being pretty generous here, I think. So the first call 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona RT two-door models, all of them get the standard direct connection stage 1 upgrade installed at the factory, which gives you a total output of 496 horsepower and 404 pound-feet of torque, which is a pretty nice upgrade if you ask me. And then first call Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack two-door models include, at no additional charge, the track package and factory-installed direct connection stage 2 upgrade, resulting in a horsepower output of 670 and 627 pound-feet of torque. That's 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, while running the quarter mile in an estimated 11.5 second time, which is a great, I mean, that is literally a great number at the track for any street car. And I know, certain Teslas can even run 9-second times, which is crazy. I mean, you're getting into the point at that time where you need to add a roll cage to your car. So pretty cool stuff. But they're not done yet. All 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona RT and Charger Daytona Scatback two-door models qualify for the full $7,500 federal tax credit. And then you can also upgrade even further with these Dodge deals to a VIP experience. You can order customers who either choose from a pre-configured order already allocated to the Dodge Charger Daytona certified dealer, or head into a certified dealership to place a solid order in person. Those customers take delivery of the Dodge Charger Daytona sold order placed before October 31st. So time is a wasting. If you get one of those ones from inventory, you will receive 2 days of performance driving instruction at the new Dodge Charger Daytona Radford Racing School in Chandler, Arizona, and an exclusive point of contact through the Dodge Charger Daytona VIP concierge to answer questions and help with the customer's needs, such as scheduling at the racing school after taking delivery of your car. And then when you get to that racing school, there will be a welcome kit, and you get Dodge branded leather driving gloves and more. Okay, I think the big thing in the VIP experience is probably the Radford Racing School, which I think is great. They're doing that. I always think that's a great idea. You get a performance car and you go to a racing school and check it out. So the question is, will Dodge customers happily switch over to electric vehicles? They're certainly going to be paying the price for them. They are throwing in the goodies to make this a good deal. The Scat Pack and the Track Pack and the racing school, if you step up to that. And also, I should mention, all 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona models include your choice of an at-home Level 2 charging station or $600 in charge credits through Free to Move Charge, freetomove.com. So I'll probably take the at-home charger, though I don't think it includes installation. So that's something you have to think about. But they're trying to sweeten the pot here. I'm just going to be interested to see if the Brotherhood of Power will accept this. We'll have to see. What do you think? Will the electric charger be a hit, or will it really hurt the brand? We'll have to see. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. We will be right back. More coming up. Toyota Prime gets dropped. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. Interesting story this week. And, you know, we know people that listen to this show are trying to figure out what should I buy, what should I not buy, what is a plug-in hybrid, what is a hybrid, what one's right for me. You know, you're spending a lot of money. The average price of a car is $45,000. I should say vehicle, because most people aren't buying cars. But two vehicles that I've liked and reviewed recently are getting a name change. And that is the RAV4 Prime, Toyota RAV4 Prime, and the Toyota Prius Prime. Now, basically, the problem is I think a lot of people didn't know what they were. Prime, it's a cool name. It sounds like though you're getting your deliveries from Amazon. Is it on Prime? But what they are is plug-in hybrids. The RAV4 Prime is actually quite the amazing plug-in hybrid because it gets 42 miles of electric range, which most of them get around 30, 35, something like that. So it gets a lot of range. Toyota Prius Prime, I'm not sure how many miles of range that gets, but, it's probably in the 30-mile range, all electric. So they're plug-in hybrids. Charge the battery, it gets you around town, take it on a road trip, the battery depletes, and then it becomes like a regular hybrid. Problem was, Toyota's saying that people didn't realize that the RAV4 Prime and Toyota Prius Prime were plug-in hybrids. Now they're just going to be called plug-in hybrids. So RAV4 plug-in hybrid and Toyota Prius Prime, the Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid, no Prime. Probably a good idea. I think people were smart enough to figure it out, especially if they listened to the show. But I guess it needed some explanation. So that's what they're doing. Another interesting rumor in the auto industry is the RAV4. When it's coming up for a major redo. They're saying maybe 2026. Or so for a complete remake of the vehicle because it's getting a little long in the tooth. Still a great vehicle, still a big seller, if not the biggest seller for Toyota. But they say when that comes out in 2026, there's a real possibility that you'll only be able to get either a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid after the redesign. And that's very similar to the Camry, which went all hybrid. I don't think it's a bad idea. Obviously, Toyota has perfected the hybrid system, and they have pushed that over electric vehicles. Everyone out there is now scrambling to get hybrids and plug-in hybrids into their lineup. Toyota has had them for quite some time. Would it increase the price of the RAV4? Probably not as much as you think if it was all hybrid, but we'll have to see. Do you think it's a good idea? Or you are dyed-in-wool, I don't want a hybrid, but I want a RAV4. Well, let us know in the comments, and we will share them once we get your input right here on Cruise Control. Let's talk a little bit about Ford and Blue Cruise. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Blue Cruise is their sort of hands-free system. I'll say sort of. It's not a full autonomous system, and it never claimed to be, but it allows you to do things like lane changes on certain roads, and of course it will track the car, it will steer it around curves and things like that. But they have come up with a Blue Cruise version 1.4, and it's going to be rolling out into select Ford and Lincoln models very soon. And the 2025 F-150 will get this too. This will be an over-the-air update, I would imagine. And what it's talking about is it's kind of in finesse. This is not new features, but it's finesse. So what some people were talking about is if you're going into a sharp curve and the Blue Cruise system thought, I can't handle this, it would disconnect abruptly and require the driver to take over the responsibility of the wheel. And now with Blue Cruise 1.4, it's able to slow the vehicle down and have a smoother transition to having the driver put his or her hands on the wheel. It's also better during conditions like rain or direct sun where the system would disengage more regularly. So the idea is this is finesse. It is allowing the vehicle to stay in the self-drive mode more of the time versus 1.0. And it is, I will use a term of David Hill, who used to be way back when the engineer of the Corvette, when they went from the C4 Corvette to the C5 or from the C5 to the C6, they said it's evolutionary. I think it was C5 to C6. They said it's evolutionary, not revolutionary. In other words, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just making the wheel a little bit better. And that's what Ford's done with this. So if you have an F-150 or certain Lincoln models, anything that's Blue Cruise equipped, you will probably get an over-the-air update to Blue Cruise 1.4. What happened to 1.2 and 1.3? I don't know. But what they say, according to the Executive Director of Advanced Driver Assist Systems, this is a quote from Sami Omari. We found in our internal testing, Blue Cruise 1.4 allows customers to stay engaged an average of at least 8 times longer in hands-free mode compared to Blue Cruise 1.0. This is road specific too, very much like GM Super Cruise. Like, for example, in my area, the New Jersey Turnpike is one of the only areas where you can use Super Cruise. So the system's there. If you're on a road where it doesn't, it's not set up to allow you to use it, it will just say system not available. Once you get onto a road like, in my case, the New Jersey Turnpike, it will allow you to activate it. And I have not tried Blue Cruise. I've tried Super Cruise. It will do things like lane change. You put the turn signal on, it will look. It will tell you looking for oncoming cars, moving into lane. Then it shuts the turn signal off, and you've made a lane change. So Blue Cruise is like that. It's getting smoother. It's getting better. It's interesting, though. You think about how on cruise control we talked about fully self-driving cars, and the shine has gone off that. The shine has even gone off electric cars in a certain way. But, you know, the industry has changed so much in the last couple of years and so dramatically. It's kind of both those things have been rolled back because I don't think manufacturers have money to go all electric and make affordable cars, then switch to hybrids and plug-in hybrids to kind of fill in the gap, and also develop self-driving cars. I don't think any of them can accomplish those goals and make money. Then the goal is not to spend, $200,000 building a vehicle and then try to sell it for, $80,000. So they won't stay in business that long. So if they continue to do that. Let's talk about something a little bit different, a vehicle that is certainly very popular. I would say this is one that has kind of transformed Kia. It was the big, big hit for them. And, of course, it is the 2025 Telluride. Let's talk a little bit about what's new. New standard features. All trims come equipped with second-row side airbags and highway driving assist 1.5. The enhanced performance, the X-Pro all-wheel drive trim offers a standard increased towing capacity of up to 5,500 pounds. That's 500 pounds more than the previous model, along with improved off-road capabilities due to a 10 millimeter increase in ground clearance. Interior enhancements, X-Line and X-Pro feature terracotta interior color and embossed front seats, along with upgraded technology, including, which has become a big upgrade for everyone, a standard 12.3 dual-screen integrated display and digital key, and a few more items to be added. When we come back, we will talk more about the 2025 Kia Telluride. We'll tell you the pricing. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. I will be right back after the break.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab is here with you, and Les has had a little errand to run, so he took off. So we were talking before the break about the Kia Telluride, a few of the features of the 2025 model, and I wanted to give you some pricing on it. This has just been such a huge hit for Kia, and as their staff always tells us, we wish every vehicle could be like a Kia, but of course they've been putting out some great vehicles throughout the year. So all of these prices exclude the $1,395 destination charge, and that's typically when you're quoted prices, they exclude that, and there's nothing you can do about that destination charge. It is what it is, and it's gotten a lot more robust, I guess I would say, in the last couple of years. So that's something to remember. But you start with the Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $36,190, and then the first all-wheel drive model that you can get into is the S model, $41,090, which is not bad these days for such a big vehicle. And then you go up the line. The X-Line all-wheel drive, I'm just kind of cherry-picking. There's a lot of models here. The X-Line all-wheel drive is $46,085. The Telluride SX all-wheel drive, $47,890. Typically, if you go from front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive, it adds about $1,000, which is not bad, really, when you think about it. And I would imagine the vast majority of these vehicles are sold with all-wheel drive. And then some of the other higher-end models with all-wheel drive, once you get up into the higher-end models, they're all-wheel drive. So SX X-Line all-wheel drive, $49,485. The SXP all-wheel drive, $51,090. The Telluride SX X-Line, SXP X-Line all-wheel drive. That's a real great name. $52,385. And the Telluride SXP X Pro all-wheel drive. Who came up with these names? Comes in at $53,385. So new standard features, second side row airbags. That is second row side airbags. That's a big one. Driving assist 1.5. And some towing capability increase, 500-pound towing capability increase in the X Pro. That is good. And then exterior design changes, here and there, features and options. And overall, great vehicle. I'm not so sure, this used to be kind of unobtainium. In other words, you go to the dealer, they just didn't have it. I'll have to check back at what the day supply is on these things. I think they become a lot more available, and of course, Kia is a pretty smart company. They're not going to let people get all excited about something and then not come through on it. So we'll have to see about that. Let's talk about something a little bit different. If you've been listening to this show, you know that we like minivans because we think they're pretty useful. Well, Toyota has got some updates for their 2025 model year minivan Sienna, and one standout of this is you can get an all-wheel drive hybrid model, which is super popular. I think that is something that people really like, and a lot of these get used here for Uber and things like that because of that, because you've got a big vehicle, lots of luxury, and you also have all-wheel drive and the hybrid, drivetrain that gets, I believe, 35 miles to the gallon. But let's look at some of the new features. Convenient new vacuum and fridge box, standard on Platinum and available on the Limited. So you can keep your water cool. You can keep your floor clean. Updated interior fit and finish on seats, console, and dashboard, which is great for all grades. Remember, interior means everything. You look at that, and if you see fit and finish issues, I remember cars from the 70s that used to drive me crazy. It's like, why is there more space on this side of the dashboard than the other? Maybe that's a little OCD, but you know what? it's what you look at when you're going down the highway, so if stuff is crooked, you're not going to like it. New advanced seat reminder. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. It uses millimeter radar to determine, it's mounted up in the headline, to determine if there's anyone in the vehicle, including pets, so you don't walk away. Digital gauge cluster is available on the XSE and Woodland Edition. Woodland Edition and Platinum Grade change up of wheel styling and a couple of new interior colors. What's interesting about the Sienna, and we've talked about this a lot on Cruise Control. A lot of the manufacturers have, when it comes to the SUV space, they have made these, the X Pro and the Woodland Edition RAV4 and Trail Sport with Honda, and it's all about giving the vehicle that probably very rarely goes off-road a little bit more off-road looks. So they raise it up, they put bigger wheels on it, they put mud and snow tires on it, or something that's got some gripping on the sidewall, more of an off-road look tire. And it's just a look. And in many cases, there are a few things added, like they raise it up a bit or whatever. So Sienna actually has a Woodland Edition that is raised up. Not that anyone would go off-roading in a minivan, but it gives you kind of that look. It's got a little bit more road clearance, a little bit more aggressive rubber. I don't quite get that on a minivan. But, hey, if it's a look you like, then that is, that is it. Hey, knock yourself out. That's what I think. Would you buy the Woodland Edition? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. A Woodland Edition Sienna. I just don't see the purpose of it, but hey, the more the merrier. So just listen to all the safety here that you get. Is the Toyota Safety Sense TSS 2.0. This comes standard pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, full speed range dynamic radar control, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist, automatic high beams, roadside assist. Very robust indeed. As I mentioned, the hybrid all-wheel drive is something that makes this a differentiator in this. Of course, Toyota great at hybrid systems, and having all-wheel drive in a minivan when you're doing all your off-roading, it's probably not a bad idea. All-wheel drive is great. If you're using this vehicle for Uber and somebody says, I'm up in the front of my house and you got to go up a snowy driveway, all-wheel drive would be great for that. I'm not going to take it on the Rubicon Trail. But that's kind of a look at what's new in the Sienna. And, hey, it's a great product. It's a strong product. As we say, minivans, like it or not, you might not like it, but, hey, it might be the right thing for certain people. Let's talk about Corvette. So, interesting news this week. Even our friends on Team Corvette talk about what will happen when we go electric, all things like that. But there was an interesting piece with Tony Roma, the new chief engineer. He was asked by CBS News, what about electric Corvettes? And he said, that is something GM and Corvette engineers discuss often. We talk about this a lot. I talk about it with enthusiasts, my friends, and other engineers, but Roma said that it needs to be a truly special car to be considered, and they won't go electric for the sake of going electric. Of course, they have the E-Ray. Now, when you take what Tony Roma said, you take him at his face value. The E-Ray is electrified, but let's face it, the E-Ray does give you the horsepower very close to a Z06, but in a different format, and it gives you all-wheel drive. Right now, currently, it's the only all-wheel drive Corvette. Once again, we're not going off-roading in the Corvette. We're not going off-roading in the Sienna minivan. But in the case of the Corvette, it's for power and handling. And so he said that wasn't done just to say, hey, let's get a hybrid version of this. That was done to enhance the vehicle. So they're not going to go and electrify your Corvette for any old reason. It has to make sense. And they're also not going to break it off as its own brand. It will stay Chevrolet, even if they add other body styles, which they probably will. SUVs, but not a minivan. When we come back, we're going to have an at-the-wheel review of the Volkswagen ID4, so stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. It's at the wheel time. This time we're looking at the Volkswagen ID4 Pro, and we're going to take you through this vehicle. Great vehicle, beautiful color here. This is one of those extra charge colors that I think are worth it. A beautiful metallic red, just a cool color. They call it Aurora Red Metallic. And I think it is worth the extra money for sure because it really makes it pop. Now, I've driven the ID4 before, and while I found it okay, I found it to be kind of bland. And I think, this went through a big upgrade in 2024 for 2024. And I think Volkswagen has done a great job here. You get the bigger wheels. You get the black treatment of the pillar right before the hatch. And they've also improved the interior immensely. I can definitely say the materials and the look of the interior have been upgraded. This, of course, is an all-electric vehicle. On the inside, it is Volkswagen, and which can sometimes be a little bit austere, but you get these ventilated seats with the ID logo in them. The interior materials, as I say, have been upgraded. A lot of soft touch vehicles, materials, and still there are some hard touch, but a lot of soft touch materials, a couple of different colors, some piano black trim, and everything has a texture to it, so it's not that smooth, hard plastic. They've moved the controls around. The defroster controls are still moved in the weird location. It's got kind of a clip for the phone, which is nice to keep your phone against the charger. The new display is great. It is very fast. The infotainment system is snappy, and I was very pleased with it. It's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Of course, it's wireless. You can take care of that. So they upgraded all the electronics. A lot more sliders. And here's the thing I hope they do change, and they've changed it on the GTI. The steering wheel controls are these haptic controls and not buttons. So I think you're going to see this change as the corporate steering wheel changes over. As I mentioned, it's got the strange controls for the defroster, rear and front over on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Out back, great room for passengers. Not a lot of amenities inside. A couple of USB-C charging points, but that's okay. Good headroom. Overall, kind of an austere interior, but better materials, and a better job of previous ID4 interior, so that is a plus. Rear seats fold relatively flat, which is always a good thing to have a flat load floor. And then out back, plenty of storage, and it is generous indeed. Of course, no spare tire because this is an electric vehicle. So let's talk about some of the upgrades for this. A larger battery, 82 kilowatt hour battery, which is part of the Pro S package, and it is worth that. 282 horsepower, 402 pound-feet of torque, power is not a problem for this thing. Ours was all-wheel drive, so it even gets a further upgrade. That has a range, the ID4 All-Wheel Drive Pro and All-Wheel Drive Pro S, ours was the S model, have an estimated range of 263 miles and an EPA estimated fuel economy rating of 108 mpge. So no problem with acceleration at all. Great. If you get the entry-level model, that would have a 62 kilowatt-hour battery. But it is about 100 of the 82 kilowatt-hour battery weighs about 1,105 pounds, and about a fifth of its weight is the housing itself to hold it in there. So great upgrade on range. You have driving mode selection, which can influence the steering weight, throttle response, and electric drive motors. Eco, comfort, sport, all available. So great stuff. Also, you can do the 1 foot driving if you put it in the brake position, the B position. The gear selector, which is great. You can get some more regeneration, and I happen to like 1 pedal driving. That is a cool thing. Pro S Plus and all-wheel drive Pro S Plus models upgrade to a black roof and rear spoiler, while the C-pillars, roofline, roof rails, and bumper accents can be in bright silver. They also receive a power folding door mirrors with a diamond pattern lamp signature, which is a nice upgrade for sure. So let's talk about some numbers on this vehicle. And this is one of the most, if not the most popular electric vehicle for the Volkswagen in the U.S. Built in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Overall score for safety is 5 stars, which is great. And the ID4 Pro S with the Galaxy interior, leatherette, that is a leatherette finish on there. That is leatherette material. Aurora red metallic exterior paint, $395. Well worth it. That is the clear coat with color in it. Galaxy interior with leatherette, no charge. VW CarNet, safe and secure 5-year plan. So let's talk about the base price, $49,995. That it has the upgrade of the paint. Destination is $1,425. Total all-in price $51,815. Yes, you can get the $7,500 off. This is built in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as well as the motor and the transmission, United States. So pretty good. Annual charge, they say, cost for charging this vehicle up is $650. So what do we think about this? I have to say, when it came out, the ID4, I drove it, and I liked the way it drove. But I felt that it was kind of cheap on the inside. A lot of gray carpeting on the rear seats. They still have some of that. But with this upgrade, the wheel upgrade, the overall look of the vehicle has gotten a lot nicer on the outside. And the materials on the inside have really, really, really improved. I would say they are on the right track of enhancing this vehicle. And things I enjoyed. I love the lighted logos front and back, lighted VW logos front and back, kind of cool. I love how it drove. I like the range a lot of this vehicle. And overall, for a 2-row large SUV, makes a great choice if you're looking to go electric. It's safe. It's built in the U.S. It gets the $7,500 rebate. And frankly, it just looks good. It's a pleasing shape. So really nothing bad to say about it. I would, a little bit, I would like them to upgrade the cargo area, the back of the seats with the gray carpeting. It's just one of my things. I think that should be upgraded. I don't know what they could do with it. Rear seat protector, who knows? But I love the visibility, 20-inch alloy wheels with all-season tires. Pretty cool. and the range is great. It is great. They show it on the sticker at 291. VW rates it a little bit lower than that, but once you get over 200, 250, I find electric vehicles are pretty usable. When the early ones came out, I remember driving a Kia Soul that had like 100 miles of range. That was marginal. But we hope you've enjoyed this at the wheel review of the Volkswagen ID4 Pro S. Stay tuned to Cruise Control for more information. We're here every week at this time. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. We'll see you down the road.